Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Tired for no reason, muscle weakness, or high blood pressure? The cause can be as simple as a vitamin D deficiency. People in Northeast Ohio and Western PA don't make enough vitamin D, and it affects their health. Listen this Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. for more information. That's Sunday at 8:30 a.m.
Test drive new guns and gear at the Concealed Carry Expo. Come to the David Lawrence Convention Center this Friday through Sunday. Text EXPO to the number 87222 for your discounted tickets and free t-shirt. That's EXPO to the number 87222.
Art Bell is back.
This is Art Bell. Welcome back.
Saturday nights at 9.
You're hearing 570 WKBN Youngstown.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, and here we're on Saturdays to talk about things that are happening with tech. This is sort of my redemption day. If you caught me all week, I filled in for Dan a couple days, and yesterday was just, I don't know, I got sick halfway through the show, and I probably started rambling, so now I get to try to reconvince you that I have the ability to string sentences together and make clear thoughts. And so if you notice, like halfway through the show, I kind of slowed down my speech, and that's when you knew it was game over, when you didn't hear me rambling like Mighty Mouse across, in front of this microphone. So 330-729-9977. I had a really interesting conversation with my son this morning, and I love these conversations with kids. Kids are the best to be able to sit down and have these sort of like long arcing topics, the things that go beyond of what exists today. Because kids have this ability because they have not yet been taught what isn't possible. We as adults, we're already stuck in we have a pretty clear idea of when it's outside the bounds of possibility, that if someone says something that's beyond that, we're really quick to shut it down and say, well, that'll never happen, right? But kids aren't like that. They're willing to go along with it. So we started this discussion on the way to the tournament this morning, and we were talking about flying cars. And so I got going. I put my car into autopilot, and this thing navigates to be able to switch lanes and speed up and whatever. And I said, how long do you think it's going to be before that we could start putting cars above? So we have lanes of traffic that do speed going forward, so the lanes of traffic can support so many at such speed. Then we put multiple lanes so that you can have 3 cars across the lanes, and so you got 3 times whatever that is. And now we can go in that third dimension, which is, up in the sky. And I said, okay, so we're contemplating the length or the width of the road, and somebody had to calculate that on a highway, the width of the road had to be a certain 12-foot, 14-foot, whatever. And then, so, the same math would go up to, okay, how far in the air would you take flying cars, and would you treat them like airplanes where you'd have to have flight plans and there would have to be somebody in a tower that regulates the movement, or when flying cars become, it's probably going to be sort of magnetics where it floats, something in the road creates a magnetic field, and then you have something in the car that sits on the magnetic field, and so you're not really flying per se, you are just floating on magnetism. So how far would you feel comfortable being away from the car that's side by side? Because we've gotten pretty close. I mean, in New York, when I'm driving the streets of New York, you're about 6 inches, 3 inches away from the car that's in the next lane. And people drive like nuts, like mad people there. It's absolutely nuts. And so when we start going spatial, like above you, if you're looking up, how many cars deep could you go high? What distance between you and the car above you would you feel comfortable with? Because it's a game changer as far as bandwidth goes. You can fit, think of the snarled traffic in any of our big cities. And when you start inventing technology that allows you to hit that other bandwidth, the vertical, how many lanes of traffic can you fit upwards? And the key is going to be this. I mean, I do not trust that there are going to be a bunch of people with the steering wheel flying their car around like it's an airplane, right? Too much density, too many, possibilities. It's not a fender bender where you hit somebody and then my car's ruined. It's a fender bender where you fall out of the sky and everybody dies. And, there are big time, there's big time fallout. But when you start putting the computer systems that are tracking visuals, like in the Tesla, there is 8 cameras. And then what's going on behind the scenes is a computer is assembling everything that the camera sees and sort of drawing a picture. once the picture is drawn of what kind of situations you're in, the computer can start making decisions. So all it has to really do is plot its surroundings and know how to identify things in the surroundings, and then could start deciding. Well, this autopilot that it has is pretty good at being able to identify. We're keeping our objects so that they're familiar. When you drive by a truck, the computer recognizes it as a truck. If you drive by a person, the computer recognizes as a person. So as long as our objects are identifiable, if we don't start getting into sort of weird stuff on our roadways, like I don't know what it would do with a Amish horse and buggy. I just don't. I don't know if they programmed it. I don't know what they do with a skateboard. I don't know what they would do with other vehicles. It would probably just see it as an object big enough to be a car, and then start managing itself as if it were a car. Because even if it were one of those other objects, how would you want it to be treated different? It's just a thing that's going a certain speed. It's either coming towards you, or it's coming to you, or going away from you, and then it can make judgments based on that. I sat down, I listened to a sit down between I think it was a student at MIT and Elon Musk, and they asked him, the back end stuff, we at MIT want to kind of see that and judge it. And he said, and Tesla's not Tesla's, the guy, what's his name, Elon Musk, he said that we're just on the really precipice, like the very beginning of digital identification, where the computers aren't even being challenged by what it's seeing in its environment. So really what we have now is able to drive itself, is able to find a parking spot, would be able to bounce on a magnetic field and be able to navigate, because now really all you need is cameras pointing down and pointing up, and it's just tracking more of a, if it's 365 degrees and it's all going outward, doing, the flat dimension, and you're just adding some angles to the cameras. And then if you're barely challenging the processing that's going on right now, you're really going to be able to challenge it when we start going up and down. So if you kind of watched what Elon Musk has done, he's doing some testing in California where he's building these tunnels for cars to travel in. So you've got underground, okay, these bullets and this is cool. So in the underground ones, you basically pull your car up to a platform, and then the platform is propelled. The platform is the one that rides on a magnetic field. You're just a passenger. So you become sort of like a bus where your car doesn't have to do anything. Your car gets you to the sub, and it drives off of the sub. And between cities, like I could go Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I drive into Pittsburgh, and I get on the little, tube train thing, and then I just sit back and let the tube train thing take me all the way there, and then I just get off and start driving once we arrive in Cleveland. And that's sort of like these tunnels going from city to city. And again, all of you adults are saying, "Well, that's not going to happen." Blah, blah. But my 9-year-old, we're sitting there talking about this like it's got possibility. And if you could tell me that I got possibility, I'm going to keep dreaming and I'm going to keep going. But if you shut me off and tell me something's not possible, we don't have much to talk about, because I'm even going to build more ridiculous stuff on the ridiculous stuff. Okay, so and so if you cut me off of the conversation on the little ridiculous stuff, you're not going to get to the good stuff. That's the secret sauce that got this going. Anyway, so we were talking about how long before we start having cars bopping around on the top of magnetic fields, and then I thought, okay, well, what about if we made roads that were self-propelled? Like you go to the airport, and you have the escalators. They're not really escalators because they don't take you up, but they're basically those walking floor things where you can walk and you're walking at double speed because the floor is going with you. What happens when our roads can move, and then you drive your car on the roads and you're going 60 and the road's going 60, now you're booking at 120 miles an hour. And then, after we talked about the little escalator roads, then we started talking about these, in the way that they're doing the trains underground. We can also do sort of roving, autonomous platforms, okay? So you think of a bus, right, but without the people and without the canopy. So just like Knight Rider, you would take and drive your car up on the highway, see one of these little bus things, and pull your car up on the platform, and then you're just along for the ride. And then when the platform gets to where you're going, it probably should stop. I don't necessarily think you need to be all dramatic and be able to ramp up on something moving and ramp off of something that's moving. But that would be really cool. And if we're going to do it, might as well make it like Knight Rider. At least I could be, in that moment like I dreamed of as a kid. But anyway, it would probably stop in a place. People would load up, and then it would go on, and you'd just be shuttled like you were just a piece of livestock between cities. And the effort is that do we make it so that mass transport is everybody owns their own mass transport, or do we take these things that, like when you're on the road and you're traveling, you spend 4 hours of really doing not much of anything, right? Think of all that wasted productivity for the driver that he can't really do anything because you got to nurse this wheel that you're moving like a half a degree every hour. You're expensing all this mental energy, paying attention to stuff. You don't really have to do that. You could have computer systems that could pay attention to stuff a little bit better than you. And that's what we're proving out, that on those city to city treks, let's put some automation in there so we can free people up to do some thinking. I halfway wish that when I was driving around on my day that I could have a driver and I could sit in the back seat and get some work done, because I waste so much time going, and I try to occupy it. I try to make phone calls. I try to do stuff, but there's only so much you can as the driver do. When you spend 2 hours a day driving, and you look back at 2 hours and say, all right, spent 2 hours, made 2 phone calls, and I got there. Made 2 phone calls, and I got there. That's just a lot of wasted time. And then if you're, unless you got the resources to have a driver shuttle you around, you're going to pay the consequence of having to have your butt in that seat. And a lot of it is just mindless paying attention to everybody else. And that's why I mentioned last week that a lot of these lower tier jobs, even that we put up with, I would be glad, like, mowing my lawn. I don't have to be present for that. A piece of equipment can do a good job at mowing my lawn. Collecting trash. I think a big box truck that goes around with a little scooper on it could come along and scoop up your trash. There's some things that I think through autonomy, down the road don't have to be filled by human beings. And the longer we hold on to that, where we want to, do that, thought is trapped in the heads of people who are doing mindless work. And so, like I said, this really interesting conversation about how we're going to be moving our butts around and traveling from city to city, not necessarily about the speed of getting places now, but the efficiency and the human element. I really think that you unbridle us and we fill our sort of like the point of our existence. We change what we're supposed to be working on. You don't have people coming idle and getting a day older every day. You get people who are challenged to become better every day. And sort of that was what the end, my son's in the back seat. He knows the tunnels now that shuttle cars around are possible. Escalator roads, totally possible. Cars that bump around on magnetic fields, totally possible. And so that's the generation that's going to be really, we're going to invent it. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we are so close because everything exists now. It's just an assembly process. We got to prove it out that it's safe. We got to make everybody, the redundant systems that have to exist. It not only has to be able to take all of that images and make sense of it, but it also has to do it so that if you fail, like you're driving along and your computer crashes and you're driving along, what happens? Okay, that was one of my biggest thing with an electric car. What happens when I have no gauges? All I have is this tablet that's running some software. What happens if I'm driving and that thing kicks off? I don't know my speed. I don't know where I'm going. Does it just stop? Does it slam on the brakes? What does it do? And so it did happen to me at one time. I was driving along and the center console computer crashed and the display went out. And it took a good 2.5 minutes to get up. I had no idea what the speed was going, but I had all my controls. I could hit the gas, I could hit the brake. All of the really important systems still functioned. I was just driving in the dark. If you could ask me how fast I was going, I had no idea. I had, fortunately, I had enough cars around me to be able to judge it, so I wasn't, stupid about it. But what if there weren't any cars around? How? And that's a question that came to me a little while ago when my electric car starts to get me, tickets and, speeding tickets. It won't happen around here because cops don't get out of their car and don't pull people over. But when I put my car on autopilot, it has a little box on the side that tells me what the speed limit of the road I'm on, so I don't have to look at road signs. But some of those are wrong. Some of the times they change a road sign and they don't update the map, and then my car bases its speed based on what the speed limit it thinks it is. So I'm going to get in that argument like, hey, my car told me, right? It was driving. I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting in the seat. So I don't know when the those court cases start going where, it's true. I mean, when I set it on autopilot, I put it on the speed limit. If the speed limit changes and I don't notice it, the car doesn't notice it. I mean, who really is at fault? Obviously, it's going to come down to the driver. But I'm telling you, it probably out of I would give it about a 15% of the time it's wrong, and usually it's overshot. Where this little stretch on 680 between Western Reserve Road and until it turns into the turnpike, it thinks is 70 miles per hour, and it's 65 in that stretch until I think it gets to the actual turnpike. But I have to adjust it because if I have my cruise control, the autopilot set on that speed, and the speed limit goes up by 5, guess what my speedometer or my cruise does? It bumps it up by 5 miles an hour, and it keeps it consistent with the speed I was traveling before the bump. Well, the speed limit didn't change. It's still 65. It was 65 there, 65 there, but my car thinks it's 70. And so if I were to be pulled over, how believable, how much is the cop going to care that my car's the one that did it and it wasn't me? And so, yeah, and that's why I say we're sort of in that test phase where you get too many tickets where the car made the decisions and backs you into that corner, and guess what? Yeah, you're not going to trust it. You're not going to use the system because it gets you in trouble. All right, we're going to take a break. We can take calls all show long, so feel free. 330-729-9977. You can also text me at 333-1570, and we'll answer your text messages all program long. You are listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Radio presents the podcast premiere event of Sleepwalkers.
Technology is changing our lives in ways we don't even notice.
There's 2.2 billion people who use Facebook. That's about the size of Christianity. There's 1.9 billion people who use YouTube. That's about the size of Islam.
On Sleepwalkers, we dive deep into the AI revolution and find out what it means for our future with the people who are building it. What effect is it having on us?
Hear the premiere episode of Sleepwalkers Wednesday at 7 here on News Radio 570 WKBN.
Conservative Republican and prosecutor Caitlin Dickey knows stories like these all too well.
In Wellsville, an ex-boyfriend broke a car windshield and threatened to break a window in a house in order to take a child from its mother. In Salem, a woman was taken to the hospital after she was choked by her husband while trying to keep him from hurting their young daughter. And in Fairfield Township, a man phoned the mother of his child 125 times in one day, making threats and telling her, "If I can't have the child, no one can."
This is Caitlin Dickey. I'm a prosecutor, but I'm running for judge to protect our community. I have experience protecting women and children from domestic violence and stalking by issuing protection orders.
Caitlin Dickey is endorsed. Former magistrate Caitlin Dickey is experienced. Caitlin Dickey, she'll give criminals the sentences they deserve. Vote Conservative Republican Caitlin Dickey for judge. Paid for by Dickey for Judge.
What's more important than the safety and security of your family, your home, or your business? Howland Alarm Company has been protecting our valley for nearly 50 years with burglar and fire protection, video surveillance, personal emergency alert, card access, intercoms, and more. Howland Alarm Company is family-owned and operated with local monitoring and no long-term contracts for your convenience, safety, and peace of mind. Meet the pros against cons at howlandalarm.com. howlandalarm.com. They never sleep, so you can.
Burnett Pool's financing event is happening right now. Take advantage of 0% APR for 60 months on all new hot tubs and above-ground swimming pools. Now's the time to own a hot spring spa, the world's #1 selling hot tub brand, or the perfect time to choose your new swimming pool. Visit Burnett Pool's locations in Cortland, Canfield, and Newcastle, or online at burnettpools.com. With low monthly payments on approved credit, it's easy to step into a new hot tub or above-ground pool.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia of Hermitage, now open. And Taylor Kia of Boardman. Get the absolute best price on your new Kia. And easy credit from the Taylor Credit Team. Check out our must-see inventory of all your favorite brand new Kias. Test drive the new 2019 Kia Soul or Sorrento today. Both top safety picks. Calling all trades. Don't make a $4,000 mistake. Taylor gives you up to $4,000 over Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade. Taylor Kia of Boardman.com and the all-new Taylor Kia Hermitage.com. It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia.
Well-qualified buyers with approved credit on select inventory. Down pay and term vary. See dealer for complete details. Offers expire 4/30/19.
It's Ron Verp for Nature Stone. Never replace your garage flooring again. Your garage will look spectacular, but on top of that, Nature Stone eliminates puddling, standing water, no more slipping. It covers uneven concrete, so no more tripping, reduces tracked-in dirt. It's terrific. Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of April. Get up to 50% off. Schedule your free in-home estimates easily online today at naturestone.com. Never replace your garage flooring again. Easy, fast, one-day installation. Like my friend Mike says, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Get your MLB All-Star experience at Play Ball Park, running July 5th through 9th. See the stars of the game, meet baseball legends and Hall of Famers. Step into a virtual reality batter's box. Enjoy live music. Feast on local cuisine. Buy official gear and ride the MLB All-Star zip line. Join the fun at Play Ball Park, July 5th through 9th at Huntington Convention Center and the malls. For more information, visit allstargame.com.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-551-4182. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-551-4182. That's 800-551-4182.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and we get to do this on Saturdays, talk about things that are happening in tech. We open the phone lines for you all program long, so feel free to jump in on one of the lines and ask your question. I mean, here's really the sort of the secret sauce of the show. You get to sort of like share your problems and your questions, and then there's a ton of people who maybe not brave enough to call. They get to hear the question that you just asked. So do it for them. Don't do it for you. Do it for the people who can't or don't have the oomph-spa. Is that even a word? I don't know. Anyway, to call. Do that on their behalf, because all of us get smarter when you ask those questions. And even think of it like this, that even if I don't know the answer, this crowd, the people who listen to this show, is so super smart. The depth of knowledge that listen to this program is infinite. So if you ask a question, even if I don't know, somebody will know, and they will text me or email me or contribute in some way, and your questions will get answered. And so don't feel don't be afraid to ask pretty much even weird, simple, basic, extreme, advanced. Really, any question is in line here. So 330-729-9977. I get this question a lot. How old should my kid be to be able to use a tablet? And the simple answer is that it's not simple. So let me give you the simple one. It really depends on what you are culturing, right? If you are culturing your kid to exist in a world where tablets and computers are pretty much necessary to exist, then you want them to develop the ability to do it really, really, really well, right? Your math teacher used to say, hey, you know what? We're going to teach you the manual way of doing math because you're not always going to have a calculator. They were culturing you to be very effective in the technology of the day, Okay, so now I don't use a calculator, or I don't do anything manual. I do everything with a calculator because you walk around having a calculator. They couldn't see that everybody would have a calculator with them at all times, and that's why they said what they do. So again, it depends on what you are culturing in your kids. But I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get back from this break. Dennis, I see you out there. We'll take your call also when we get back from this break. 330-729-9977 or text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Find out more about how you can help to improve our air quality. Get today's air quality forecast and the extended forecast. Help preserve the air you breathe for you and your family. You need it to live and you use it every day. MahoningValleyAir.org. Information for your future.
Just announced 0% financing for 72 months on new 2019 Ford F-150s at Fairway Ford in Canfield. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. Bond was set at $150,000 for Paul Penman from the Detroit area. He's charged with raping a young girl from Boardman. He was indicted earlier this year. U.S. Marshals arrested him in Michigan. He's facing nearly a dozen counts, including rape and unlawful sexual conduct. Animal advocates protested Michael Vick at the men's rally in the Valley happening today at the Cabelli Center. The protesters have an issue with Michael Vick's past in dogfighting. He was sent to prison for running a dogfighting operation and lying about his involvement. Organizers of the event say the event is about forgiveness and Vick should not be condemned. A Youngstown State University student organization will close down 4 blocks in downtown Youngstown today for one big 9-hour party. Federal Frenzy begins at 2 p.m. It'll run till 11 o'clock tonight. 24 bands and 6 venues. It's being promoted as family-friendly, and it's free to get in. And yesterday marked 35 years since the Idora Park fire. Damages at the Youngstown Amusement Park totaled about $2.5 million. A welder's torch caught the Lost River ride on fire. That fire spread to the Wildcat roller coaster, the park office, and concession stands. The park on Youngstown's south side opened for the season, but closed for good that September. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2. For your home or business, call Mazza's Heating and AC in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
A breezy and increasingly cloudy Saturday afternoon. Temperatures will climb to the low 50s for our highs before rain moves in for your Saturday night. Showers are likely and could become a mix by early morning Sunday as temperatures fall to just above freezing. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
Mother's Day is May 12th, so bring mom to the best buffet in town at Mr. Anthony's in Boardman. Carving stations of prime rib and pork loin, shrimp and crab Romano sauce with pasta, Swiss chicken, eggplant rollatine, and an exceptional dessert station plus much more. Mr. Anthony's in Boardman is the place to treat mom and the whole family this Mother's Day. Call 330-758-5721 for reservations. Tickets are available at the office or visit MrAnthony'sEventCenter.com for details. Find out about Mr. Anthony's wedding promotion.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue Pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to 4hims.com/play. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/play. That's 4hims.com/play for your first month for just $5. 4hims.com/play.
At Menards, nobody beats our prices, so you can save big money on your painting projects. Max Bond Exterior Flat Paint and Primer in One from Dutch Boy features a no prep, no prime formula for superior adhesion to new or previously painted surfaces. Just $33.98 a gallon after rebate. Additional sizes and finishes are also on sale. Get these and other great savings during Menards Spring Catalog Sale, now through May 5th. Plus, a Menards gift card is perfect for Mother's Day.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey there, Dan Rivers. You know, recently, selling your home has become a complicated process. Tune in and listen to the agent who guarantees to sell your home or she'll buy it. Kelly Warren, Sunday mornings, 8 a.m., 570 WKBN.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
It's time for Taylor. Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. Keep your tax return this year. You won't need it here. Well-equipped Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs. Acres and acres to choose from. Plus a must-see pre-owned inventory. How about up to 60% below MSRP? Good credit, bad credit, no credit? Get approved faster and easier than ever before with the all-new Team Taylor Credit Amnesty Program. Calling all trades. Calling all trades. Only Taylor Chevrolet gives you $4,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade. It's time for Taylor. Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. Drive TaylorChevrolet.com. Find new roads.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. Taylor right now.
To qualified buyers, see dealer for all details. Down payment term varies on select inventory.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. We're taking calls all program long, so if you want to get lined up, 330-729-9977. You can also text me at 333-1570 all program long. Again, I'll take your text messages, read them on the air, and we'll treat them just like they were phone calls. Let's go off to Dennis. Dennis has been waiting through that break. So, Dennis, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Do you have a site that that has where you could freeze your body so you can come back in about 200 years or go into the future, or whatever?
Yeah, cryogenics. I love it.
Because the way you described it with the garbage trucks and everything, when I wake up, I'm going to be completely amazed or I'm going to laugh. Because
right.
I can't see how you're going to have all these garbage trucks picking up garbage with and robotics are going to build the garbage trucks, and it's all going to turn into robotics.
Yeah, you get to sit back in your chair.
What happens to the 350 million people?
That's why we start that conversation here and figure out what we're going to do with ourselves, how we're going to be productive when we're used to doing those other jobs.
That's what I want to know. Yeah.
Well, you got any guesses? You got any suggestions?
Well, it depends on if the whole world does it. I mean, if one country does it, I don't know. I don't know. Ever since this car deal, and you talking about flying cars, the Jetsons and all that. I've been thinking about that. I keep running it in my mind. What's going to happen? What would happen? What could happen?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Dennis. Go ahead.
I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for your phone call. Appreciate it. And this is cool. Like when we have these conversations, I picture us all around sitting around the campfire, and we add a little bit of adult beverages into the equation, and then you let your mind go a little bit. And in the first part, you start listening to the show, and you start getting dismissive and saying, okay, that's not going to happen or whatever. But it is, and it will. And it's more exciting is if you start like using those hypotheticals and say, okay, well, what am I going to decide right now? What am I going to do? If you took this chore away from me and you had, was it Judy? Was the robot in the Jetson where they would just go and do all the what if you had a personal assistant robot that would travel around and do stuff for you? I mean, what would that feel like? And so, yeah, it's fun to be able to think about this, and especially with the next generation, they have not yet been told that stuff isn't possible, and I'm not going to be the one to tell them, honestly. And I don't want you to be able to tell them. I want people to think that anything's possible, so that they don't arbitrarily believe people just because they're older than them. Because usually it's the older ones that are cynical and they don't believe in it anymore, and so they make you not believe in it. For some reason, you want to pass off the disbelief that all things are possible. And I just don't. I don't buy into it. I've never believed any. I made that mistake when I was younger, where I used to look at people that are older than me, and thought they knew more than me, and I would take their stuff at gospel and I wouldn't challenge it. And then when I got to be like, in my mid-teens, then I would challenge everything. When I got my rebellious spirit, it was about, I don't believe any of you, right? I'm going to go make up my mind on my own. Thank God that I had Christianity and I had good morals and I had good virtues, because when you hit that rebellious stage, I went for truth, right? I didn't want to, dismiss everybody and then go down the rabbit hole, because that's the kind of that turning point where if you didn't instill good moral values in your kid, that's when you lose them. Because that's what everybody does. We dismiss it, we discover it on our own, and we make up our own end story. And I'm so thankful that I had a good compass, and that way I started saying, you know what, you might be older than me, but you don't know more than me. I'm going to figure it out on my own. So anyway, 330-729-9977. Before the break, I was talking about parents who ask me, when's a good time to be able to start handing off my electronics to my kids. And I'll tell you this, there's some, let me give you the downside to it so you can plan appropriately. So there's no good answer. It's you as a parent have to do just like anything else. Are you a parent that needs a babysitter? And so electronics are amazing babysitters. You can put them off into a room and they can spend 4, 5, 6 hours watching YouTube, going down that rabbit hole. You don't have to, you forget that you even have children. You won't have to put up with them. And it's cheap. If you take it hour by hour, think of you're paying $15 an hour for a babysitter or $10 an hour for a babysitter. In one day, that iPad might pay for itself. So if that's your goal, you want to off them, just get rid of them for a little bit, great thing. Now, if electronics, if the thing is entertainment value, where they're watching non-enriching material, non-enriching media, right? Now it's just entertainment. So it's sort of like real close to whole babysitter mode. But this is like, I just want my kid to be happy and enjoy themselves and get bursts of adrenaline and bursts of all those feel good, so we can get them properly addicted to those stimuli. All right, so that's the second thing. Now, if you think that the tablet might have some media out there that might be thought-provoking and have some development, then you use it a little bit differently. Now maybe you give it in shorter intervals and you pay attention to what they're playing and you make suggestions about what they should develop next, because it's cognitive, right? So you want them to be able to think. And then it's tactile, where it's tough to get tactile out of a tablet, but you're moving stuff around with your fingertips. So the way that we're tactile next is being able to move objects, visual objects that don't have a feel to it, don't have texture to it, right? But you still have to have a feel. You have to be able to control your fingers to move it around that two-dimensional space, because eventually you're going to be doing that in the air. Minority Report, where you got the gloves and you're moving objects in a three-dimensional space. So you're not going to be able to do three-dimensional if you don't master two-dimensional. So again, you got cognitive and you got the really basic ones, but then you have the strategy. The games that are available on tablets can provoke the mind and have you develop strategy. So that some of the games are strategy based, they're puzzles, they force thought that you really can't get with real objects, because you could really replicate anything. You could take your kid and you can put him in the compartment of a steam engine, right, and teach them how to drive a steam engine, and think about all of the strategy behind something that nobody's going to let your kid drive a steam engine in real life. They're never going to develop that ability to pull levers and worry about pressures and worry about the weight and the track ahead of them and all of the things that you would think of. But they've got simulations out there that put you in a driver's seat of any vehicle, any war game, any farming, city. There's a ton of them. You could put them in these different deals. Now, again, if your goal is to not develop, is to just entertain, it's a different thing than if you're saying, okay, what is my kid learning competition? Is my kid learning finance? Is my kid learning whatever? And so, like I said, if you're in this third one as a parent, you really have to treat it like it is dessert, right? Because you don't want to give all of your kid development within an electronic space. It's got to be lots of real world space. I mean, think of what we're losing on the relational side when we interact with other people. If your kid is socially inept but can strategize like it's nobody's business, that lack is going to affect them. And I'm saying that with today in mind. If you fast forward, like our last caller said, if you fast forward 50 years, social interactions might not be a thing. So I might be forcing my kid to learn social interactions, and by the time he actually goes to use it, he's going to look at me and say, why did you teach me that stuff? We don't interact with people. We sit in a chair all day. The trash gets picked up by itself. The car drives itself. I go to work. Work is me plugging in there. I roll around in a seat that's automated. It takes me where I want to go. It feeds me what it thinks I should eat. I mean, what the heck are you teaching me that stuff? So if we stay the same, then what we're teaching for today's world is applicable. If the world speeds off into a different direction, you got to be able to, like a quarterback, hit a trajectory on a moving object and be able to teach the proper thing that's going to apply when your kids gets to that point. So good luck, parents, with that. I appreciate it looking into the future because it's going to be a skill that it's going to be some guesswork. But again, treat it like it's dessert. Don't overdo it. Make sure a lot of the things that they're playing have some. You can point at it and say, my kid is developing X because they're playing this. And if you're doing that, then it's a tool. It's an educational tool. But it's not to say that you can't have some entertainment in there, right? But treat it like it's dessert, like it's not the only helping that they're going to have. And my biggest concern with electronics is not necessarily what they're doing when they're there. It's that stinking blue light. And we should do a whole show on what that stinking blue light does to your brain. We're going to put a set of glasses. We're teaming up with we have a good relationship with Eyes of Faith Optical. They do frames for the eyeglass industry, and I'd really like them to make a computer, electronics version of it, where the frames, and we got a special lens that does the blue blocker. That blocks out that blue light. Because I'm telling you, if I tomorrow could take a kid's version of glasses that blocks out that blue light, when he's on that tablet or on that computer, I'm going to make him wear those glasses because it messes with circadian rhythm, so your sleep, everything that involves about sort of the mental and the sleep is disrupted by blue light. That's why if you look at your phone in your bedroom before you go to sleep, it erupts the brain. And it makes it harder to fall asleep just because of what's passing through. I think somebody was telling me that the eye has no ability to defend against blue light. So you're basically injuring yourself every time you're looking at blue light. So we should have somebody on to talk about that blue light because it's really important to me, especially for as much as I'm sitting in front of a screen. Also, our kids are, and they're more sensitive to that kind of stuff. So I worry about him more than I do myself. We'll have an option. I'm working on it. We went to an expo in New York City, and I was talking to some lens manufacturers about putting something together. So I'm actively working on it. I don't have anything to sell you today, but in the future, there will definitely be something. Let's go to Raymond, 330-729-9977. Raymond, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yeah, Joe, I have a question, and I think it's on the iPhone, and I think it's a function of IP geolocation. I'm kind of an Indians fan. I like to watch sports. And on my iPhone, when I'm out of the area, I have a spectrum app, which allows me to watch my cable TV. So when I get out of a certain area, they block out certain channels. Is there a way to fix an IP geolocation so that I can watch an Indians game when I'm 10 miles out of my area?
Okay, so anybody who regulates things legal or illegal, let me tell you something that's probably gray area. So basically what happens is you're right. You have licensed material that are only geographic. So if you had a Indians game playing and you're not in a place where that market is served, then you can't watch it, and they do it by zip code. So if you turn your Hulu on, it asks you where you're located, it pins you on a map, and if you venture out of where that pin is on the map, you don't get that programming anymore. So same thing with what Time Warner's doing or Spectrum is doing with the stuff that you're getting over the phone. Now, if you were to get a VPN, okay, a VPN basically takes a tunnel and it places you in a different place, in a different location. So you cannot be, somebody can't really tell where you are. They can see where your connection ended up, and that can say, we'll say we pick one that's in, California somewhere. So when we VPN, we can VPN from anywhere, and our location will always stay in where we VPN to. So, but the VPN services are, maybe $20, $10 a month. And so in some cases, it might be better to have two accounts, and then you can move your location to wherever you're at. You can have your home one stay at, because they'll let you change where you're located, but they only let you change it 4 times a year. So once you keep moving around, you'll go through the location changes, and then you'll just be stuck with wherever you last left it.
Okay. Is it possible to turn VPN on or off and go back to the normal function of your geolocation?
Absolutely. So once you set it, so you buy your VPN service, there's a ton of them to shop for that work with iPhone. You turn on VPN, and then when you're done with it, because it's an app that you launch, and then you turn it back off, and now you're back on your normal one. So you set your programming as your area. But the problem is when you set your area, it's going to always feed you that local area's programming. So you're going to have to find a VPN service that has something in Cleveland if that's what the media that you're shopping.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Joe. That answers my question.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being out there. And there are 5, 6, 7 really good functions of VPN. If you're new to this conversation, let me explain what VPN is. So think of it like this. When you connect to the internet, you're connecting through a gateway, and your gateway is going to your ISP, right? And there are some encryptions that happen along the way, but for the most part, you've got to sort of assume that somewhere along the way, something's not encrypted. So you want the stuff that you're doing, you don't want to trust that somebody else is doing it. You want to make sure that somebody else that's happening. So if I send an email and I send it to my provider, there's a pathway of when I send it that really wasn't encrypted. I could pull that email out of the space and see that email was passing through in its entirety. Now, a VPN tunnel will create an encrypted tunnel that goes from your device, and it goes through the provider that you're in. So sometimes the provider is your Spectrum at home, and sometimes your provider is the hotel's Wi-Fi. Sometimes the provider is AT&T cell service. Sometimes the provider is whatever. And you still use those things to carry the signal. You're just enveloping whatever you're transmitting in something that's encrypted. So as it passes along the Wi-Fi at the hotel, it sees that there's data there, but it's all encrypted. So if somebody said, this is my Wi-Fi, I'm going to grab those packets out of this guy, and I'm going to read what Joe is doing. It's all scrambled, because that's what encryption does. It takes usable data, it sets a key, it scrambles it according to the key, and when it gets on the other side, it descrambles it and puts it back in its true data form. And so VPN's useful when you don't trust the network that you're on. But you can think of a whole bunch of other ways you can use it when when people are using sort of like GPS and to identify your location and stuff like that. So, all right, we're going to take some more of your phone calls. We'll also read some of your text messages. The phone number, 330-729-9977. Text messaging, 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Stifel is a full-service firm offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. Stifel, with 3 offices in the Valley, with experienced advisors assisting you. Information, visit stifel.com or call 744-4351. Stifel Nicholas Incorporated.
Hey, it's Ron Verb for Nature Stone. Never replace your basement flooring again. Nature Stone's the only answer for your basement because it stands up to moisture, dampness, even flooding. If your basement is damp, dirty, not somewhere you want to spend time, well, transform it with the help of Nature Stone and get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of April and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily today at naturestone.com. No other flooring company, manufacturer, installer will offer you the same warranty and first-class treatments. That's Russell's promise. And like my friend Mike says, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
It's this Saturday and Sunday, the 2019 Northeast Ohio Pet Expo at the Eastwood Complex, formerly Kmart, on Route 46. Pet fashion show, petting zoo, pony rides, raffles, door prizes, and more. The Northeast Ohio Pet Expo, this Saturday and Sunday in Niles.
You know, I remember smoking was socially acceptable. Everybody pretty much was doing it. People smoked in malls and restaurants, even on airplanes. Now you get a lot of disapproving looks, especially from loved ones. So after many years of me smoking, I finally made the switch to Juul. Now there's no more worrying about the way my clothes smell or worrying about what people are going to say, because with Juul, everything is so much easier. Juul is a vaporizer that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition. Now, Juul was designed by smokers for smokers to be an alternative to cigarettes. Juul has no cigarette ash, zero odor, no mess. So if you're one of the 34 million adults in America that smoke, will know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Just go to Juul.com/Switch America. That's JUUL.com/Switch America. And warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia of Boardman and the grand opening of Taylor Kia of Hermitage. Now open. Get the absolute best price on your new Kia and easy credit from the Taylor Credit Team. Check out our must-see inventory of all your favorite brand new Kias. Test drive the new 2019 Kia Soul or Sorrento today. Both top safety picks. Calling all trades. Don't make a $4,000 mistake. Taylor gives you up to $4,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade. Taylor Kia of Boardman.com and the all-new Taylor Kia Hermitage.com. It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia.
Well qualified buyers with approved credit on select inventory. Down pay and term vary. See dealer for complete details. Offers expire 4/30/19.
iHeartRadio is now the #1 podcaster in the country, and we'd like to say thanks. Thanks for downloading and listening to some of our 25,000 hit podcasts, and thanks for letting us introduce you to some of our favorites, like Disgraceland, the Ron Burgundy podcast, and Anna Ferris is Unqualified podcast. We know we have the podcasts you love, so find yours now on the iHeartRadio app. Oh, and listening is always free, even if you want to download them to your phone so you can listen later. Your music, your stations, and #1 for podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're allowed to do this here on Saturday with the topic of talking about things that are happening in tech, in science, physics, all that kind of stuff. Anything that's interesting in that realm, feel free to call us, 330-729-9977. We can openly talk about it. And most of us, you know, the audience of this program from its inception considered themselves neophytes, people who didn't know a whole lot and were a little vulnerable about it. And so we make it not vulnerable. We take people that are just getting started and people who've been here a long time. We openly talk about the topics, and through osmosis, you sort of get the verbiage down, you get the language down, you start to maybe get a little bit the stuff that was intimidating, you get a little confidence behind you, and then you take on bigger tasks. Maybe before, there's no way you could have installed your own Wi-Fi in your place. And now you know what Wi-Fi is. You know what controls it. You know how it's separated. You know, maybe you don't know the actual device that you bought, but when you log in there and look into that device, you're going to see a lot of the things we talk about regularly. You know what DHCP is. You know what networking is. You know what the user interface is. And all of those things, we bring all of that stuff a little bit, make it a little bit more familiar. So when you start discovering, you're like, you know what? I know what that is. And then you're more, I don't know, you're more likely to delve into topics that you don't know about. And that's where the best discoveries happen, when you just aren't afraid and you're just dabbling around, and it doesn't really matter if you mess it up or not. And you get to learn about stuff. And usually when you get into those modes, you don't end up actually accomplishing what you set out to accomplish. You accomplish something way more, because now your brain gets hit with stuff you didn't even know was possible. And now you're on a whole new road of discovery. And you keep following that rabbit hole, and you keep paying attention to this show. And when you get stuck somewhere, when you get confused somewhere, throw it out to our audience. And then that way, you know, you never feel like you're on your own quest. You're just along with the rest of us who are still trying to get better and better every day that goes by. In a field, in an entire marketplace that changes every stinking day. And that's what I love about it, is you will never be able to learn it all. There will always be new stuff coming out there. So, like I said, keep yourself involved, and it gets more and more fun. So, Vincent, I see you out there. If you can hang tight after this break, I'll make sure that I take your call. I'll take more calls, 330-729-9977, and you can text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
In February, Leadership Institute field organizer Hayden Williams was peacefully helping conservative students recruit for their group at UC Berkeley when he was viciously attacked by a radical leftist thug. Since then, President Trump has taken action, signing an executive order to protect conservative students' free speech, but more action is needed. You can take that action now. Support the Leadership Institute and defend conservative students. Just go to takebackthecampus.org. The Leadership Institute is the premier organization for educating and training conservative college students. With a gift of as little as $5 a month, you can help conservative college students stand up to the intimidation and physical attacks of radical leftist campus bullies. Hayden Williams took a punch for all of us. Now it's time to fight back and protect our conservative students on campuses everywhere. Visit takebackthecampus.org to make your urgent gift to the Leadership Institute today. That's takebackthecampus.org. takebackthecampus.org.
On AM and thousands of devices, including Amazon Echo, Google Home, and Sonos. With our iHeartRadio app, 570 WKBN, Youngstown. It's 2 o'clock.
I'm Dave Packer. Before members at the NRA's yearly convention, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North's statement today that he will not serve a second term as the president of the gun rights group, calling out the current leadership, saying he believes a committee should be set up to review NRA finances. Top executive Wayne LaPierre, for decades the public face of the organization, sent a letter to board members Thursday saying that North was trying to push him out by threatening to release damaging information about him to the board. In Los Angeles, health officials scrambling to contain one of the most contagious viruses in the world, expanding a mass quarantine. To Los Angeles and ABC's Maggie Ruley.
California is under one of its largest quarantine orders in state history, fighting to keep the infectious disease under control. Over 1,000 students and staff were ordered into isolation at both UCLA and Cal State LA after the CDC confirmed a measles outbreak. An airborne disease, the virus can survive for hours after an infected person passes through an area. With a combined student body of over 65,000 between the campuses, an unvaccinated person exposed has a 90% chance of catching it.
With the number of arrests in the Sri Lankan bombings now topping 70 people, investigators staged a raid on suspects on Friday, killing at least 15.
Authorities saying Islamist militants set off bombs and opened fire at security forces during the raid that began Friday night. By morning, soldiers guarded the site of the raid, labeling evidence in what authorities claim was a bomb-making factory. Security forces cataloguing alleged chemicals and explosive materials, along with the thousands of metal balls intended to be packed into the bombs as shrapnel. In the daylight, security forces sweeping homes in the cordoned-off area, looking for more bomb-making materials.
ABC's Julia McFarlane. Negotiators for the Chicago Symphony Orchestra and musicians reaching an agreement to end a nearly 7-week strike. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. The man accused of stabbing guests at a Liberty Motel appeared in court yesterday. Dan Hughes entered a no plea on charges of aggravated robbery and felonious assault. He's in the Trumbull County Jail on $75,000 bond. Liberty police went to the roadway inn to investigate a robbery and stabbing. The man, later identified as Hughes, told police he was involved in the attack. Bond was set at $150,000 for Paul Penman from the Detroit area. He's charged with raping a young girl from Boardman. He was indicted earlier this year. U.S. Marshals arrested him in Michigan. He's facing nearly a dozen counts, including rape and unlawful sexual conduct. A Lawrence County man is due back in court next month after turning himself in on Thursday. He's accused of trying to bribe a Boardman police officer almost a decade ago. 27 First News reports Thomas Reed Jr. was arrested back in July of 2010 following a traffic stop. He had admitted drinking that night and became abusive, threatening to kill officers and their families. After his appearance in court, however, he never returned, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. Declining enrollment has resulted in 16 teacher layoffs at the Austintown schools. In addition to the laid-off teachers, 4 non-teaching positions were eliminated, along with 11 non-teaching limited contract positions. Hours also reduced for 2 non-teaching positions. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's. Cool your home for summer. Call Maz's Air Conditioning in Girard. 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
A breezy and increasingly cloudy Saturday afternoon. Temperatures will climb to the low 50s for our highs before rain moves in for your Saturday night. Showers are likely and could become a mix by early morning Sunday as temperatures fall to just above freezing. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
It's time for Taylor. Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. Keep your tax return this year. You won't need it here. Well-equipped Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs. Acres and acres to choose from. Plus a must-see pre-owned inventory. How about up to 60% below MSRP? Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Get approved faster and easier than ever before with the all-new Team Taylor Credit Amnesty Program. Calling all trades. Calling all trades. Only Taylor Chevrolet gives you $4,000 over Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade. It's time for Taylor. Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. Drive TaylorChevrolet.com. Find new roads.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. Taylor right now.
To qualified buyers, see dealer for all details. Down payment term varies on select inventory.
Find out more about how you can help to improve our air quality. Get today's air quality forecast and the extended forecast. Help preserve the air you breathe for you and your family. You need it to live and you use it every day. MahoningValleyAir.org. Information for your future.
For lunch and special occasions, it's Overture's Restaurant with chef extraordinaire Jeff Crystal, downtown next to the Dior Performing Arts Center.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is our dose of the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. We open up the phone lines for you all program long, so if you have any questions, want to talk about things that are happening in tech. I'm talking really fast because I want to get to Vincent. Vincent has been hanging out a long time on here, and I don't want to wait any longer than he has to. So, Vincent, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Good, yeah. How you doing?
Real good.
Good, good. I just happened to catch a tail end of a conversation from one of your callers a little bit ago, and it was something about using the VPN to watch the Indians games at a different location than where you're at.
Go ahead. What do you got?
There was another way to do that besides using the VPN, though that will work. If that customer also has Spectrum, and say he goes to, let's just say, Florida, and he still wants to watch those Indians games, all he has to do is, instead of downloading the Spectrum app, that person can also download the Fox Sports Go app, and that will let him watch Indians game even if he's not on his Wi-Fi or even in the location.
Now, that just passes through, though. When you go to that app, it asks you for your Spectrum login, and then it'll permiss you?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So if you're on the Spectrum app and you're out of your Wi-Fi, it will cut out a bunch of your channels.
Okay.
But if you use the Fox Sports Go app specifically, and as long as you have your location turned on, you can watch the Indians games wherever, and even more, that you could watch Bruce Drennan, you can watch anything else on that.
Excellent. Thank you for the info, Vincent. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, take care. Another way that I've kind of gotten around it a little bit, if you pay for I use Hulu is my main streaming service, which that I do get the local channels, and if I through Hulu, if I DVR the Indians game, I can go and watch the recorded through the app. I have to wait. I think I have to wait a couple minutes in order for the DVR to record enough for me to start watching. But I'm not really watching it live, so it's not streaming the live feed. I'm just watching the recorded feed through the DVR. So if you have Hulu, you might want to try that as well. So 3 really good options there. 1, using VPN to mask where you're located. 2, if you do the Fox or the network app that's hosting the games, and then use the pass-through. See, basically what it is, that the programming is bound, right, to your provider. So they are the end salesman. They are the ones that's selling you. But if you go to the network they're not allowed to sell to you directly. So you have to almost let your salesman, which is Spectrum, let the Fox app give you the programming. And I don't think it's sophisticated enough at this point. It's a yes/no type of thing. So when you go to Fox, you ask its permission. It sees that you have a login. It doesn't go and check what you're programming you're allowed to watch. It just passes it through. Because I did this thing, and then this might be gray area too. Walking Dead, right? So Hulu does not have AMC, and so what I did was I did the AMC app, and I don't have Spectrum cable. I just have Spectrum Internet. Or no, not Spectrum. I have Armstrong Internet. And so when I went to the AMC app, it said, "Hey, give me your Armstrong login." So I gave him my Armstrong login, and then the AMC app let me watch The Walking Dead. But I don't really pay for AMC. I just have an account through Armstrong. So that's kind of gray area too, because it's assuming because I have an Armstrong account that I have Armstrong cable, which I don't. I just have cable internet. So maybe that is, I'm just as wrong as all of you, I'm sure. All right, 330-729-9977. This morning we had a Tecmo Bowl tournament. This was really cool, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm trying to accomplish here. Next year, I'm going to be doing a tech expo here in Youngstown, where I'm going to invite all of my competition, people that do stuff in the tech field, to a nice large space like Cavelli Center or Eastwood Expo or the one up on Belmont, and I'm going to set up table space, and I'm going to invite everybody who does stuff well in our area to come and highlight what it is that they do for a living. And I really want to put a great display on for the public, because there's some companies here that you don't even really know operate here, right? They're kind of quiet. They do things behind the scenes, and they don't really tout themselves. And I'd like these people to showcase themselves. So I've been around, and I even the people that I directly compete with, there's some really good talent in this area that I'd really like to put on display. And so I'm going to ask that they come out and really demonstrate themselves well. And I'm going to ask all of you to come out and see what they've got going on. Now, this audience, I know you guys will show up, no doubt. But it's that younger generation that I really don't have a good beat on, because they're not like most of us that needs any guidance. They're completely comfortable just hacking their way through things until they figure it out. And so they don't depend on us as much. And so I want to. There's really no natural places where we intersect and we meet, except for gaming. Okay, and I'll tell you, I did my fair bit of gaming when I was younger. And, when I was at YSU, we would play Counter-Strike down on the lab computers, and there was a lot of people that, we would, a lot of friendships came over gaming. And I know in that generation that's how they interact with one another. I see my son playing games and with friends from school over the internet. So I know that happens. So anyway, I wanted to get the tournament plays started for 2 reasons. Number one, I want my tech expo to have a big old, Super Bowl of gaming during that weekend, to give one generation a reason to go out there and another generation to go out there. I'm including both. Really cool tech-heavy things for companies to browse through and the public to browse through, and then the younger generation that they're there to compete and in tournament-style games, because I see it as another sport, right? It's just like basketball, football, baseball for this generation, where you give them lots of fields to play on. They show up and they do something productive where they, that's their thing. Whether you like it or not, it's their thing. And we want to put a really good tournament on, something that all of those kids won't be like, oh, you know what, this is Youngstown's version of a tournament, right? Because that's kind of condescending and, like we can't do everything. I want big sponsors. I want national brands to be able to sponsor this event. And so I'm going to look and start developing. See, I'm a novice when it comes to setting this stuff up. So the games that I'm choosing are what a novice would choose till I get good enough. Because if I wandered in and said, okay, all these gamers, they want me to play Fortnite, right? I would do it so poorly that they would show up the first time and say, "Oh, this Fortnite, tournament sucks. I'm never doing this again." So I'm taking games right now that I know I could do really well. First one, I did Super Mario Brothers. Why? Because I know when I say that, there's a whole bunch of people in their 40s that grew up playing Super Mario Brothers, and I know just for giggles they would show up and play this tournament, and it was so much fun to watch that happen. I myself was enamored with the game, and it was weird how my brain just went right back to it when I was playing it regularly, where stuff was located and when to jump and the controls. That muscle memory just like all came rushing back to me. So it was kind of cool and nostalgic. And then the second one, Tecmo Bowl. I still see people regularly posting that on a weekend when it's raining outside, they'll fire up the old Nintendo Entertainment System and play a Tecmo Bowl regularly. And I don't know if you've ever played the game, but it's a crude version of a football game. But it's so much fun, and that's its charm, that it's older and it's more simple, and so your strategies have to be different. So anyway, we ran a Tecmo Bowl tournament this morning, and we got some participants to show up, and I really thank these people because honestly, we're brand new at this, so they have to be a little forgiving when we're just getting started, and they have to have some understanding that we're starting here because we're probably bad at it even on the simple side until we get really a good grasp of what we're doing. And all of those people that have shown up have had fun. They won some money. They got to compete. They got everything out of it they wanted. And they shared, I'm not even going to call them criticisms because they were just angles that I didn't see. So, for instance, Tecmo Bowl, right? People play at home. They play against a computer. And so they're used to playing the game from left to right because the computer would always play right to left. When we play two-player games, there's going to be a player that's on the right side that has to play left across the field, and they're really not used to it. So they're at a little bit of a disadvantage. So if you watch the Tecmo Bowl stream this morning, at halftime we switched, where they switched, and now the left was on the right and the right was on the left, and so we had to reset the game. But that is something I would not have thought of, that a player would have been at a disadvantage if they were playing left to right. But we quickly solved it. But what would happen if that was an integral part of the game and the tournament would have been just gone totally flat because now somebody had this advantage, and now when I lose the big money against 500 other players, that I'm going to say that it wasn't fair that I had to play right to left. I would have never saw it coming. So the considerations that I have to take during the game, I don't know what I don't know yet, and this is going to allow me to. So I thank the people that showed up at the tournament. Larry, who won today's tournament, won $100, walked away from it. He played Steve in the Super Bowl, and I posted over on my Facebook page. So if you want to watch the Super Bowl game, I didn't do any of the rounds. So the way the rounds worked, where everybody played, and it was coin flip, who was first player, second player, and then we did seeding, where you could only use the same team once during the tournament. So if you picked your favorite team in the first round, by the time you got to the third round, your third best team is there. Now, do you want to use your best team in the first round where you're almost guaranteed a victory? Do you want to take your favorite team and push them down the line a little bit and use them when maybe the tournaments are a little bit deeper? So it was a cool, like I said, the stuff that we could plan, I think we did a really good job at. But stuff we didn't plan, we're still getting used to it, and I love it. So thanks for everybody who came down, played in these little tournaments to get our bearings going, and always supporting us, because that's what you guys do. I mean, everything from the computers you buy from us, they're cheaper computers. They're you don't have to buy from us, but we take your business and we take it serious and we give back to our community. So you buying from us means that we're going to stay here, and you give us reason to keep doing what it is that we're doing, and I always appreciate that. And again, like the tournaments and the expos and everything that we do, you guys always show up. So I really appreciate everybody and their support from this era. You guys are the absolute best. 330-729-9977. You can also text me at 333-1570. And I'm checking those messages right now, see if we have anything that we must read on the program. Okay. And so the next game, the next tournament-style game, we're going to do Super Mario again. And that's going to be at the end of May. I think it's I'm going to look that up too, just so that if you want to play in the Super Mario. That was like I said, that was a really fun one because it's not a speed game. It's not. It doesn't benefit you if you beat the game overall. The first round is we add up all the points that you receive in the coins. The second round is a little bit heavier on the coins, and the third round is all coins. And so it puts a little bit different dynamic. Your game has to change. So if you dominate in one aspect, it might not follow you throughout the entire game. So it forces you to get better. So May 18th is the Super Mario Brothers. Now, I'm going to run another Tecmo Bowl, but I'm going to do it during the week. It's not going to be a weekend thing. So there's going to be a one after work. The game times were so predictable. We didn't have to set these weird time limits, and each round lasted about a half hour. So it was great. We had 3 rounds, lasted an hour and a half. It was perfect. So if you want to get signed up for the Super Mario Brothers one, that's May 18th. You can always go to Facebook, look up Youngstown Computer LLC. Under our events, we'll publish the ones that are coming up. The next Tecmo Bowl one, I haven't even posted yet, but we're also going to get a Minecraft tournament, a build tournament. And this one is for my kid. My kid loves the building games. He's creative like it's nobody's business, and he's going to formulate the game. So I'd appreciate it if everybody out there, if you personally can't, if you can't or don't really want to come do a gaming tournament, I'd appreciate it if maybe on social media you help me share off the event to get the information. We promoted the crap out of this last one, and we got good media exposure. It was all great. Tournaments are a little bit small yet because we just got things started. And so gradually I'm going to bump up the volume as I get better at these. So I'm ready for the next Super Mario to expand a little bit more because now I know we've got one under our belts. Tecmo Bowl, I want to expand it a little bit more because we got one under our belts. So would always appreciate that. To friend request me and like the Youngstown Computer LLC page. Go to events and help me share that event off. That'll help me a great deal. So again, that's over on Facebook. And I got a question for you. This is just something that occurred to me. The last set of commercial breaks, the Time for Taylor, that song, like as a host, these commercials sear themselves into your brain. And anybody that listens to this program, I know you guys are loyal and you listen to this program forever. So I want to try to go back in time a little bit and remember some of the awesome commercials that seared themselves in the brain. The 2 that hit me off the head, the Taylor Kia, because that one happens an awful lot. And then the other one was the God said, man said.com. Do you remember that one? So if you remember some of the old nostalgic 570 commercials, call me up too or text me and remind me of some of them, and we'll kind of travel down memory lane of the commercials on 570. I think that'll be a little fun. A little fun thing to do. Again, time for Tia. Because I'll tell you, like, I can hear that song 5 rooms away now. When I hear that beat in that song, I hear it and I'm singing it in my head like it's a pop song. So whoever over at Taylor Kia that put together that jingle, super effective, absolutely effective. Good on you. 330-729-9977. You can text me at 333-1570 all program long. When we come back, I guess what we'll do is I want to do like a self-help, a DIY segment. So I'm going to look up some of the computer problems or electronics problems that a lot of people are having trouble with, and see what our top 10 is, and see if I can answer some hypotheticals for things that you might encounter. So that's what I'll do during this break. I'll kind of look up a couple things. If you want to get a line, 330-729-9977 or 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Radio presents the podcast premiere event of Sleepwalkers.
Technology is changing our lives in ways we don't even notice.
There's 2.2 billion people who use Facebook. That's about the size of Christianity. There's 1.9 billion people who use YouTube. That's about the size of Islam.
On Sleepwalkers, we dive deep into the AI revolution and find out what it means for our future with the people who are building it. What effect is it having on us?
Hear the premiere episode of Sleepwalkers Wednesday at 7 here on News Radio 570 WKBN.
Burnett Pool's financing event is happening right now. Take advantage of 0% APR for 60 months on all new hot tubs and above-ground swimming pools. Now's the time to own a hot spring spa, the world's #1 selling hot tub brand, or the perfect time to choose your new swimming pool. Visit Burnett Pool's locations in Cortland, Canfield, and Newcastle, or online at burnettpools.com. With low monthly payments on approved credit, it's easy to step into a new hot tub or above-ground pool.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
At Menards, nobody beats our prices, so you can save big money on all your storage needs. Store mowers, trimmers, and more with Suncast storage sheds. The Tremont series is made of durable resin. Right now, pick up an 8x10 storage shed for just $998 after rebate. Get this and other great savings during Menards Spring Catalog Sale. Now through May 5th. Plus, a Menards gift card is perfect for Mother's Day.
Save big money at Menards.
All right, so I've been telling you about MyPillow. It helps me fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. Well, my friends at MyPillow have done it again with their mattress topper. Now, you need to get this because it will literally change your life in a positive way forever. Now, it's Mike Lindell's exclusive 3-layered design. It includes MyPillow foam for support, transitional foam to help relieve pressure points, and ultra-soft patented temperature-regulating cover. I now sleep better and better and better every night. It also has a 10-year warranty, and it's a cover that's washable and dryable, made in the USA, and, of course, backed by Mike Lindell's 60-day money-back guarantee. And right now, you can save 30% when you go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code Hannity, or mention my name when you call 800-919-6090. And by the way, Mike will give you 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Call now, 800-919-6090. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Greg. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Greg. That's 4hims.com/Greg.
You're a small business owner, and there's nothing small about what you do. That's why Dell Small Business Technology Advisors give you trusted advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions, like computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, networking, plus thousands of top-brand electronics, accessories, and software. No matter your technology needs, Dell is here to help your small business do big things. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
Quality, style, and function all made in factories right here in the USA. Hi, I'm Denise Tafala, and I'm talking about Pella Windows and Doors. This is one of the many reasons why Pella is the most preferred window brand in Northeast Ohio. Right now, you can save up to $100 off windows and $400 off patio doors. Plus, make no payments and pay no interest for 12 months. Schedule your free in-home consultation at PellaYoungstown.com.
If you're a business owner or IT director responsible for stopping hacking, well, you know the news. Daily, another hack, another lawsuit, another embarrassing headline. 91% of those successful hacks start with a phish. But have you started training your employees? Why not? Too expensive, too complicated, too time-consuming? Let me tell you about Prylock Security. With one click in about 2 minutes, you could set up and schedule a full year's training and phish testing for your employees and save up to 70% off comparable products. This system does it all, enrolls, schedules, manages, and reports in real time, all without an IT expert. The training is great, and it meets all compliance mandates. I did it myself, and I absolutely approve. Check out their free trial, too. They have programs for 10 employees for under $200, but you have to use my name, Leo, at prylock.com/twit. Promo code Leo to save 30% today. That's PRILOCK. Prylock.com/twit. Use Leo to save 30%.
We're radio first in Youngstown. WKBN first and foremost. 57 for news and sports. Number 1 for first person report. We're radio first in Youngstown. KBN is happening.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I requested an old 570 jingle to start off. And what an intro! What if intros were like that now? I mean, you had the whole band in there. You had actual singers that were doing their thing. So thanks for digging that up for me, Dave. I appreciate that. We're going down. We're walking a little bit nostalgic boulevard, thinking about and talking about some older stuff. We had Tecmo Bowl. I mean, really, that's when you got these tech-savvy people that are on the cutting edge. You know, it's really fun to look back at the stuff that came before us and still revel in it. I mean, those people are the shirts that people wear at these tournaments. They're all homage to, your upbringing and what you loved when you were a kid, and we reminisce and think of that. So again, that's pretty cool. This station is full of history, and it's cool about being involved here. I mean, this station is older than I am, and so digging that up was kind of interesting. Text message says about the Kia, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the thing is that people are driven crazy by the tone of the Kia commercial. And that is the point. Some of our best marketing throughout history has been things that stick with you. And while you're listening to it, it's like it's Chinese water torture, but it hits your brain and it stays in there forever. I can remember so many times walking away from here, having something go through my head and thinking, what the heck am I singing? And here it is, a commercial that just absorbed and can't get rid of it. So some of our best commercials, even though it drives you crazy in here, all of these advertisers make this world go round. It makes what I do here possible. So thank you, Kia, for driving me crazy with that commercial because of how you support this industry. And you got to look at it from that perspective. As much as we, hate the commercials, none of the rest would be freaking possible. So get rid of the commercials. Okay, what do we listen to now? Not this. So even, especially during political season, a lot of times it's hard to get through those. But think of all of that revenue that gets dumped into this industry that we love. That's why we're alive. Talk radio, it doesn't exist in other markets like it does here. So what we have here, this is a jewel. All right. That's why we got to really take care of her, make sure that it doesn't erode like it does in other markets where you just become this stupid, what do you even call it? It's just the talk box, automation. We don't want that. This is the good stuff. We got people and personalities and great information. We got to always support it, keep it in this area. So, all right, 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Hey friends, got a real estate question? Tune in Sunday mornings at 8 and listen to Kelly and Jim Warren for the right answers about real estate. Yes, she's the only agent who guarantees to sell your house or she'll buy it. Sunday mornings at 8, 570 WKBN.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. Declining enrollment has resulted in 16 teacher layoffs at the Austintown schools. In addition to the laid-off teachers, 4 non-teaching positions were eliminated, along with 11 non-teaching limited contract positions. Hours also reduced for 2 non-teaching positions. Bond was set at $150,000 for Paul Penman from the Detroit area. He's charged with raping a young girl from Boardman. He was indicted earlier this year. U.S. Marshals arrested him in Michigan. He's facing nearly a dozen counts, including rape and unlawful sexual conduct. Animal advocates protested Michael Vick at the men's rally in the Valley happening today at the Cabelli Center. The protesters have an issue with Michael Vick's past in dogfighting. He was sent to prison for running a dogfighting operation and lying about his involvement. Organizers of the event say the event is about forgiveness and Vick should not be condemned. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3. Need an AC checkup? Call Mazda's Air Conditioning in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
A breezy and increasingly cloudy Saturday afternoon. Temperatures will climb to the low 50s for our highs before rain moves in for your Saturday night. Showers are likely and could become a mix by early morning Sunday as temperatures fall to just above freezing. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
Get your MLB All-Star experience at Play Ball Park, running July 5th through 9th. See the stars of the game, meet baseball legends and Hall of Famers. Step into a virtual reality batter's box. Enjoy live music. Feast on local cuisine. Buy official gear and ride the MLB All-Star Zip Line. Join the fun at Play Ball Park, July 5th through 9th at Huntington Convention Center and the malls. For more information, visit allstargame.com.
For over 40 years, Bronx RV has been a family-owned and operated local business. If you're looking to go camping in the great outdoors or you're just wanting a home away from home, Bronx RV has a great selection of new and used RVs. Bronx RV provides simple yet competitive pricing and offers a full parts and service department. Bronx RV pays top dollar for trade-ins and gives you the freedom to browse at their location on Route 45, just 4 miles north of Salem. Go to Bronx.com today to check out their inventory.
Hi, this is Eric Clark with Fairway Ford in Canfield. Just announced 0% financing for 72 months on new 19 F-150s at Fairway Ford. 0% along with our huge discounts, you save thousands of dollars. And Fairway Ford, being the #1 F-150 dealer in the entire region, we have hundreds of crew cabs, super cabs, and regular cab F-150s, all available for this great sale. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is what we get to talk about on Saturdays is stuff that's happening in tech, business, physics, science, the whole thing. So if you want to get on the lines, ask any question, throw a topic out my way, run down memory lane. It's all open for today. So 330-729-9977 or 333-1570. Here's something that maybe some of you don't even know is a thing or a possibility, and that's why I want to throw it out there. This is interesting because you have to change your way of thinking about things in order for this to make any sense whatsoever. So when you buy a computer or a device, okay, where you have half of our marketplace where you buy something and you own it, and then you have the other half of our marketplace where you rent something and you never really own it. So there's a period of time where if you wanted a song, you go out and buy a cassette tape, and then you could take that cassette tape anywhere with you, and it was yours. It was physical, it was tangible. You can do anything with it. You can sell it at a garage sale if you want. Now you can go buy a song, and you really don't ever take ownership of that song. You can't buy it and then ever transfer it or sell it to someone because you were really renting it. Even though you only paid one price for it, the license didn't just go with you. It was kept safe in a little environment where you had to take the environment with you in order to play your media. So the way we buy and sell things, or the way we purchase things have changed because we're getting into a subscription-based marketplace. And you just have to know that that's happening. Whether or not you feel some way about it, that's just the basics of it. So you're renting your music, you're renting your movies, and then you're renting your software. Like your software really isn't yours, and you don't have discs for it, and your license just can't be moved around. And you see this subscription model happening even in more places where companies are trying to figure out how to go to it. I mean, I'll give you a really good example where we used to use Photoshop to do our design work, whether it be web stuff or designing T-shirts or marketing materials, whatever. We use Photoshop, and Photoshop's really expensive. So when I was young and first getting started, a $700 piece of software was a big investment. And so when I would buy it, I needed to make it last for years. Like I swear the version that I used probably was 6 years old. So it cost me $100 a year in order to use that version. And after the second or third year, everybody else was using more modern stuff than I was. And I was confident in using that one because I used the same version for all that time. But now you can go get Photoshop and you pay a monthly fee for Photoshop rather than buying the full-blown program. Well, I pay, $40 a month? So when you think about it, I'm paying $480 for it, and I always have the newest version. So does everybody else. So, that model, it works because it's a little bit easier to make a monthly payment than to write a check out for $700 to start using the program now. So it eases it, but it also is that little bloodletting thing where it breaks it open and it lets you you probably spend more money on software than you did before, but because they make it easier, it feels like you financed it, but you never really own it. You stop paying it for it right now, and it goes away. So where at least if you paid the $700 one, you could stretch it out as long as you were willing to use the software. So good and bad. Now, subscriptions on things like antiviruses. Next will be, subscriptions on transportation where you pay a monthly fee and you can, travel about the United States. Elon Musk said, and this was something I just learned about on Friday when I was in the atmosphere. Elon Musk said you could be paid up to like $30,000 a year to let Tesla use your car as an automated taxi vehicle. Okay, so you go out and buy this, $100,000 car, and then they'll pay you $30,000 a year. So you still have the car, but when you're not using it while you're at work, it can go off and serve as a taxi and then return to you and take you home from work. How likely would you be to do that? But anyway, so because people are going to be willing now not to just have ownership of a car, they're just going to have a stake in a car to be able to use. Not maybe that specific car, but a car. So if you had a car at your disposal at any time, how likely or willing would you be to, go without ownership? And so that, like I said, that model is gaining ground, and there's going to be more of it. So when you look at the tablets and the computers that you use, what we've been trying to do over the last couple of years is make it so that the computer that's sitting at my desk is like a dumb terminal, right? It could be any computer. My stuff isn't on that computer. My stuff is somewhere in the cloud. And I know the cloud sometimes gets a scary, sort of like a scary thing associated with it. But let me tell you what the cloud is. So we'll use Amazon. So Amazon, to do what they did with selling products, they had these server farms, tons and tons of computers. And all those computers the goal was to have storage and process transactions and hold picture files. And so doing their stuff, right, that allow commerce to happen. And so what they started doing is saying, we have all this bandwidth and we have all of these extra hard drives. Let's see if we could lease out some of the space that we have to other people. And so they allow people to use those computers. And when you go buy some space from Amazon Web Services, you're basically spreading your data over hundreds of computers because you're not bound to one. Like, there's not a computer that if the hard drive goes bad, your stuff goes away. You're spread out over tons of computers that live in the cloud where it just kind of bobbles around in there. It's more secure that way because your stuff's not all just in one place. And it's safer that way because if a computer goes bad, they put a new computer in there and your stuff never gets affected. So the goal was, and this was from the time we were young. When I first got started, there was a small computer place in Girard that hired me. And we started, and this was back even before 56K. This had to have been like, the first modems, 33.6 or something like that. Internet was just coming up, and we were trying to think of 1,000 different ways to use the internet. And what we came up with is that everybody was building these computers, and nobody really knew what to do with them, so all of them were barely being used. So we started thinking of ways of, now that we could connect to the internet, what if we have the beefy stuff out in the cloud, and then everybody's local computers just go out to the cloud to get their stuff, and then you would have next to nothing sitting on your desk. It would cost nothing. And we played around with it. The bandwidth just wasn't there yet, but that came to be. I mean, that is what the cloud is. So what I'd really like to see happen, and what is possible now, is that we buy more dumb terminals, and then our stuff is just always sitting out in the cloud. So I could walk up here at 5, and this happens right now. I'm telling you, I could do this right now. Is I could go up to a computer that's not even mine. I could go into pretty much any Windows system. I can open up remote desktop, right, and connect into my cloud computer. And again, my cloud computer is just a session that is out there in the cloud somewhere. So it's sitting out there dormant, and then when I go out there, I connect to it, it becomes active, and all my stuff is there. And so if you felt inclined to, you could do this right now. If you go to AWS, Amazon Web Services, you can go and package together a computer. You pick all the specs. You pick the processing power, you pick the memory, you pick how much hard drive space, you pick the operating system, and then they basically rent it to you per hour. Okay, so you formulate it, and then you pick all your components out, and they'll say, okay, well, this costs, 0.008 cents per hour. Awesome. Now, I have two services. I have Amazon Web Services, and I have a service called Park My Cloud. And what happens with Park My Cloud is I can turn off the Amazon Web Services so the meter's not running. Okay, so I pay maybe $2 a month for Park My Cloud. Park My Cloud turns my virtual computer on and off so that when I'm not using it, it's in the off position. When I'm using it, it's on the on position. And I'm able to take my computer usage down that if I'm only using it 2 hours a day at 8 cents an hour, right? You multiply that by the days that it's active, Monday through Friday, and maybe I'm getting away with like a $5 or $6 per month computer fee. And it's a pretty beefy machine that I have out there. So $5 a month, and I'm using it. And you compare it with the $100 or $200 computer you can just put together so that you can get to a desktop so that you can use remote desktop. So it lessens the amount of computer you need in your house, and then you can put the emphasis on the computer that's on the remote desktop side. And I'm telling you, for my regular email and internet and non-graphic stuff, I use that computer almost exclusively. And it's cheaper than having a beefy computer to do that stuff. Like your $800 and $900 computer sitting on your desk, even your $500, you don't really need that much because all you need is a computer that gets you to the internet. Remote desktop is using, your the bandwidth from your internet connection more than anything else. It's just a great combination to be able to accomplish the same thing, and you're able to lower the total cost of the subscription to get yourself a computer. And that's what it is. If we're in a subscription model, you refer to that as I pay $5 a month to have access to a desktop with my data in there, right? And all I got to do is walk up to a computer that's a dumb terminal that gets me to that cloud computer, and then all my stuff is there. Now, if my computer breaks on my desk, oh, boo-hoo, I get another computer in 30 seconds, I'm right back in there. I can walk up to any computer and get my stuff. So you don't have to keep customizing. As your computer on your desk breaks down, right? Get rid of it. Bring a new one in. Right out of the box. Don't have to do anything to it. Remote desktop connection, boom, I'm right back out there. And then if you can even do it through like Linux or Linux, it's even cheaper because now you bought hardware, you put Linux on it, and then Linux had a remote desktop client, and then the remote desktop client got you there. So it's even cheaper. You're not going to have to spend $100 on a license for Windows because it's just a pass-through to remote desktop anyway. So again, this is something that you might want to look into. It's something that you might want to start messing with. Start migrating your local stuff off of your computer up to some kind of cloud, and use Park My Cloud, which is a like I said, you manage your virtual servers. You can put them on a schedule. You can keep them off until you turn them on. I mean, it's really slick how they have things set up, and it's for people like you and I that don't want to be messing with scripts and a complicated version of it. I can manage it really well. So 330-729-9977. Let's go to Joe. Joe, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, nice show today.
Thank you.
I was just listening to you talk about Amazon Web Services.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has a competing service called Azure, does the same thing. It's really neat because, like you said, you can spin up, a copy of Windows up on the cloud, or you can spin up a copy of Linux up on the cloud. You can fool around with it. So it's really neat. Yeah, that's a really neat product.
How's pricing on Azure? Do you know?
I'm not familiar with the pricing, but I'm sure it's pretty competitive with Amazon, I think.
Gotcha.
And they have different services. Like we're talking about like the desktop service. But if you just wanted to save like a database up in the web, they have database services. So that probably costs less than having like a full desktop.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much. Appreciate the input.
I just wanted to mention,
sure.
You were talking about science and music
Yeah.
and stuff earlier on. There's this neat book out there. It's by Daniel Levitin. It's called This Is Your Brain on Music. So it's a whole book about the science of music and how our brain interprets sound and stuff, and so I just thought that'd be pretty interesting if anyone out there is interested in that topic.
All right. Excellent. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being out there. It's really, there's so many psychological studies that have underscored what Joe brought up there, is that we learn so much better when music is involved. And so that is definitely worth pursuing. They say to, use music for your plants and your infants and toddlers, and when you're learning. I mean, I'm telling you that the power in that music, that Kia commercial, that Taylor Kia commercial, if it weren't for the music, it wouldn't pound your brain like it does. So I'm telling you, very, very powerful stuff. So thanks, Joe, for the call. He did mention that the Azure service, I'm going to look up some pricing too, but he's right that usually when these three companies they're fighting against each other, they are so uber competitive that their pricing ends up aligning almost exactly. You have Google, right, where they have the G Suite, and then you have Microsoft, which has the Office 365, and both of them create a product, and then the other one creates up a competing product. So you go to Office 365, and they charge you $5 per email account, and you go up to Google's G Suite, and it's $5 per email account. And it's not even like a race where they're trying to undercut; they're just trying to both. And I wonder how much conspiring goes on between them, where it's like, hey, Microsoft, want to let you know we're going to be putting our price at $5. Why don't you do the same so we can both make money at this? And they're like, okay, we'll do that. And so you don't have these, even though they're competitive, you don't have these races to, hey, 99 cents, we'll do 90 cents. All right, we're going to do 50 cents. Oh, we're going to drown you out. I mean, these companies are actually interested in making a profit. Most of you who do follow Microsoft forever know that I'm not a big fan of Microsoft, but I am a big fan. Any company that innovates, okay? I love any company that is doing great things. Now, Microsoft basically knew that they had a stranglehold on the industry, so they kind of sat there and just kind of wrung, and they needed more money. They would just take the people who were supposed to be their allies, and they would ring on us, right? And that's why a lot of disdain for Microsoft, because they didn't treat the people who sold the product and supported their product. The only reason we sold you Microsoft is because we didn't have choice. And as soon as choice comes on the environment, now Microsoft's all this, hey, we want to play nice, and we want our pricing to be perfect. And we're looking back saying, hey, what about us? I mean, we were beaten on for years and years by your company. I mean, come to us. Let's romance us again. But that's just how this industry, has always been. I remember being an AOL subscriber, and this is when AOL was taking off, and so they oversold their product, and they didn't put enough money into expansion on actually infrastructure. So you had busy signals. Remember the busy signals with AOL? And so every day we'd get a message from Microsoft or from AOL saying, "Hey, thanks our customers for hanging tight with us. We're struggling because we have massive growth, and thanks for everybody for putting up with it." And I can just remember it'd take you 30 tries to get on the internet before you got on there, because you'd always get a stinking busy signal. But once they got their stuff together, do you think they could look back and said, "Hey, thanks guys, here's a free month to show you how much we love you"? Right? Nope, none of that. Went right back on and dominated and extracted, and then, where's AOL these days, right? It's a freebie. So, I kind of take a tiny bit of pleasure when someone mistreats customers like AOL mistreated us. And so all of us have kind of stood back and saying, yeah, Microsoft, you enjoy this extra competition. I hope Google does put you in a chokehold and give you a noogie for a couple of hours, just to make me feel a little bit better what you did to us for this long time. And I hate to be petty like that, but Microsoft's one of those people that, they weren't real nice to those who were essential in their growth. And because we were the ones supporting their product, we were selling their operating systems, we were selling their, we were configuring all of their products. And what they did, every chance they had to give us a fee or a penalty or make us pay for something, they took it. I think TechNet was the only thing that I ever felt like I was getting one over on them, because they let us preview all their products, not sell them, but be able to use them for free so that we can go out there and have a better better experience with them. Anyway, 330-729-9977. We have a quick segment out until the show's over here, so 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Test drive new guns and gear at the Concealed Carry Expo. Come to the David Lawrence Convention Center this Friday through Sunday. Text EXPO to the number 87222 for your discounted tickets and free t-shirt. That's EXPO to the number 87222.
Did your grandfather have a Toro in his garage? Ducat has reliable Toro lawnmowers starting at $269. That's right, a Toro mower for only $269. backed by Ducat's expert parts and service. Ducat's loyalty to the Valley for 72 years is the same as your family's loyalty to Toro. Why buy anything else? Why shop anywhere else? Count on Toro, count on Ducat. Route 422 in Warren and Route 224 in Canfield.
Let yourself go to Ducat.
Mother's Day is May 12th, so bring Mom to the best buffet in town at Mr. Anthony's in Boardman. Carving stations of prime rib and pork loin, shrimp and crab romano sauce with pasta, Swiss chicken, eggplant rollatine, and an exceptional dessert station, plus much more. Mr. Anthony's in Boardman is the place to treat Mom and the whole family this Mother's Day. Call 330-758-5721 for reservations. Tickets are available at the office, or visit MrAnthony'sEventCenter.com for details. Find out about Mr. Anthony's wedding promotion.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that furthered your career and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors, all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? To find out more, text OFFER to 79645. That's OFFER to 79645. Start your online MBA, Information Management, or Business Analytics Master's Program from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the W.P. Carey Business Graduate Programs online. Text OFFER to 79645. That's OFFER to 79645.
Stifel is a full-service firm offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. Stifel, with 3 offices in the Valley with experienced advisors assisting you. Information, visit stifel.com or call 744-4351. Stifel Nicholas Incorporated.
Groover Roofing and Siding, locally owned and operated since 1995. From roofing to siding to windows to chimney and gutter repair, Groover Roofing and Siding was built on a reputation of commitment to customer satisfaction and quality products, making Groover the Valley's leader in renovation and restoration. Groover Roofing and Siding, your home improvement specialists. Learn more now at grooverroofingandsiding.com.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia of Hermitage, now open. And Taylor Kia of Boardman. Get the absolute best price on your new Kia. And easy credit from the Taylor Credit Team. Check out our must-see inventory of all your favorite brand new Kias. Test drive the new 2019 Kia Soul or Sorrento today. Both top safety picks. Calling all trades. Don't make a $4,000 mistake. Taylor gives you up to $4,000 over Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade. Taylor Kia of Boardman.com and the all-new Taylor Kia Hermitage.com. It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia.
Well qualified buyers with approved credit on select inventory. Down pay and term vary. See dealer for complete details. Offers expire 4/30/19.
Hey guys, don't mind me as I interrupt your radio program. It's Sue Cosner, sexual health expert on men's performance in the bedroom. Do me a favor and don't touch that dial. That's a mistake. If you've been listening to this radio station, you've probably heard a compelling radio ad for Noxitril, the potent all-natural male enhancement pill. Men constantly reach out and ask me, does this Noxitril really work? Or is it just another scam product? I can tell you there's nothing better than Noxitril. I recommend this super pill to men everywhere. It will transform your life in the bedroom once and for all. Strong, powerful results that increase your blood flow fast. No prescription, no side effects. Just imagine Viagra on steroids. So call Noxitril now and take advantage of an incredible free bottle offer, shipped discreetly to your door.
To find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril, call 800-217-1579. 800-217-1579. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-217-1579. 800-217-1579.
iHeartRadio, truly the one app for everything you love. Or more accurately, everything your ears love. Thousands of radio stations, playlists for any mood. And now iHeartRadio is the #1 podcaster in the country. From award-winning podcasts like Stuff You Should Know and Disgraceland to big podcast hits like the Ron Burgundy Podcast, The Dropout, The Joe Rogan Experience, and a long list of true crime podcasts. It's easy to find your new obsession. The free iHeartRadio app. Your music, your stations, and #1 for podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. Real quick, producer Dave Price, a couple weeks ago, we're talking about some scams, and he had an example of one of the IRS scam voicemails that he received. So we conspired, and he's going to play that for you here in a second. Go ahead and roll that up, Dave.
Well, actually, it's Social Security.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Social Security
Who
scam.
knew
So
they were in Utah?
Oh.
I just had to throw that in there.
All righty.
Hang on one second.
Sure. All right, so he's going to get that queued up.
From the Legal Department of Social Security Administration. This is to inform you that your Social Security number has been suspended because we found some suspicious activity running under your Social Security number. To know more about this case, please press 1 now.
So this, and you got to understand that these people are probably have thick, heavy accents that if they called you and said they were Social Security, it wouldn't be as great. So they use these voice, text-to-voice things where they're typing out this dialogue and making a more, a voice that you would sound. But the red flags go in your head that do you think the Social Security Department is going to do that automated voice, or are they going to have a real person being able to do it? Again, another giveaway. The number comes from Utah, another red flag. So you do not owe anyone to be able to pick up the phone and give any information. Do not do it. In fact, cynics, out of your head, everybody's scamming you. Don't give any information away just because they call you, show up at your door, send you mail, send you email. None of it. All right, we're filling in for Dan Rivers on Monday. Make sure you join me at 8 o'clock here back on 570. And you've now listened to the Youngstown Computer Show. Have a great weekend, everyone.